Welcome, chosen one. As you press play today, take a moment, wherever you are, to notice your breath. Inhale slowly, letting your lungs fill with cool, fresh air. And as you exhale, allow your shoulders to drop, releasing the subtleties of tension that the day may have left behind. Right now, feel yourself arrive, not just physically, but energetically. There's a reason you're here right now at this crossroads of your journey. And it's not by accident. Perhaps you've sensed it as a gentle stirring in your heart, or maybe it's been a persistent calling at the edges of your awareness. Something saying, there's more. It's time to expand. Don't settle for the familiar, not when you're being called to something greater. You are not alone in that feeling. Countless people across the world are waking up to the realization that their lives are meant for more than repetition, struggle, or unfulfilled potential. They're waking up to the understanding that breakthroughs, real, lasting, soul-level change, are not reserved for the lucky few. They're accessible to every one of us when we prepare in mind, body, and spirit. That journey starts with a simple act, claiming your readiness. If you resonate with these words, if you feel that flicker of hope or recognition inside, I invite you to type 111 in the comments right now. Let this be your way of telling the universe, I acknowledge the calling. I'm ready to take the next step. This isn't just another video or just another motivational pep talk. This right here is a soul's call, a meeting at the intersection of your longing and your destiny. The pathway to breakthrough isn't random. It unfolds through sequence, preparation, intention, release, and embodied action. Today, I will guide you, step by step, into practical changes and powerful internal shifts that pave the way for answered prayers. Every tool, every reflection is rooted in lived experience, not just theory. I'll walk with you as a companion and guide, and together, as a community, we will support one another through every phase of the journey. As we begin, I encourage you to pause, place your dominant hand over your heart, and breathe in deeply once more. Let this be your moment of commitment. With every breath, you're agreeing, however quietly, to step into something new. Now, let's begin this journey together. 1. Understanding divine breakthrough. So, what is a breakthrough, really? We often imagine it as a singular, electrifying moment. A winning lottery ticket, a surprise proposal, an overnight success. The kind of scene Hollywood loves, where everything changes in a heartbeat and the main character finally gets their happily ever after. But let's get honest right from the start. The vast majority of breakthroughs do not look like that, at least not at first glance. Breakthroughs, the kind that transform and sustain us, are most often the quiet victories. They're the moments when old patterns finally crumble after months or years of persistence. They're the slow yet unstoppable rise of sunrise, rather than a sudden flash of lightning. Think back, for a moment, to moments in your own life, however small, when something inside you changed, almost imperceptibly. Maybe you responded with more patience to someone who usually triggers you. Maybe you finally said no to an unhelpful obligation, even though your old self would have whispered yes. Maybe you felt a surge of confidence in a place where, months ago, you used to shrink. Those are breakthroughs. They are the seedlings of transformation. Each one, on its own, may seem insignificant. Together, over time, they add up to a radical shift in who you are and what you create in your life. But there's something else. Breakthroughs are rarely just a product of luck or timing. They are the natural result of sustained, heartfelt preparation, emotionally, spiritually, practically. They show up at the crossroads, at the intersection of your effort and the universe's timing. And sometimes, even when you're doing all the right things, it can feel like nothing is happening. You might find yourself waiting, wondering if this longing for change is just another empty hope, or if you're destined to repeat the same cycles forever. If that's you, I want to assure you, your journey, even the moments that feel like missteps or delays, is not blocking your breakthrough. It's preparing you for it. I want you to try a gentle reflection with me. Wherever you are, sit up a little taller and allow these questions to land in your heart. When you think of breakthrough, what comes to mind? Is it something external, a new job, A healed relationship? A burst of abundance? Or is it something internal? Can you remember a time when you quietly outgrew a pattern, an old fear, or a limiting story without realizing it until much later? What small victories from the past year could be evidence of a breakthrough already underway? Pause here. If a memory or realization comes up, let yourself smile and say, "Thank you." Each of these moments is a piece of your unfolding story, proof that you are already moving forward, even when progress feels invisible. There's a beautiful quote from Rumi, ***, the wound is the place where the light enters you. ***. It's a reminder that our hardest moments, the stuckness, the frustration, the longing, are often the very soil where breakthrough takes root. They soften us, make us question, make us yearn for something higher. Today, as we talk about preparing for your divine breakthrough, I invite you to set aside the fantasy of an instant miracle. Embrace instead the steady, gentle power of becoming. A process that honors every step you've taken to get here and every step yet to come. Ready to dive deeper? Let's move into the mindset that prepares the soil for the change you long for. Absolutely. Here is the fully expanded segment 2, written for immersive delivery, pacing, empathy, and actionable insight, suitable for your target audience and worthy of a high-retention 30-minute YouTube feature. 2. The preparation mindset. Before we can embrace true change, we must prepare the ground within. That groundwork? It all begins with mindset. Mindset is not just a trendy word. It's the lens that colors every experience, the inner climate where possibilities either wilt or take root and flourish. You might wonder, what does it actually mean to prepare for a breakthrough? Preparation isn't about obsessive planning or striving for control. It's about becoming a person ready to receive and sustain change. Think of it not like preparing for a test or exam, but more like tending a garden, cultivating soil, watching the weather, allowing space for new seeds to sprout. So, what are the qualities of a truly prepared mind and heart? 1. Openness. Openness is the courage to imagine that things can be different, even if you don't know how. It means inviting the unknown, leaning toward it instead of resisting or fearing it. It's easy, almost automatic, to grip tightly to what's familiar. The mind loves predictable routines, stories, even old hurts, because we know their contours. But every breakthrough occurs on the edge of uncertainty. Openness creates space for life's unexpected gifts. Imagine a traveler standing at the edge of a forest. They can see only the first few steps of path before the trail winds out of sight. Openness allows them to walk forward, even though the entire journey isn't visible yet. Let's take a moment. Close your eyes, unless you're driving, and ask yourself, where in my life am I gripping, resisting, or shutting down? Where have I quietly assumed, this will never change because it's always been this way? Simply notice, no judgment, just honesty. 2. Patience. Patience is not about passive waiting. It's about active trust. Waiting for a seed to germinate is not wasted time. It is living, dynamic, full of movement beneath the surface. So are you. Every major change has its own rhythm and timing. Breakthroughs often seem sudden, but in truth, they are ripened by weeks, months, even years of invisible growth and preparation. Sometimes you'll do all the inner and outer work and still nothing. In those times, patience asks you to persist, to keep showing up to your life, to trust that what you desire is underway, even when you can't see the evidence. Patience is a sign of respect for the process. 3. Self-honesty. Self-honesty is the practice of courageous truth-telling with compassion. Not the cold, harsh self-critique of the ego, but the gentle, courageous acknowledgement of where you stand. Everyone carries blind spots, places we hide from ourselves. It might be a pattern you rationalize away, a dream you've quietly buried, or a fear you've disguised as practicality. True breakthrough can only blossom in the soil of truth. Ask yourself, what am I pretending not to know? What story about my limitations do I repeat to myself and others? Who or what do I secretly blame for not moving forward? Write your answers in a journal, or simply whisper them to your heart. If you feel prompted, share one honest realization in the comments. It's powerful, and you'll help others see themselves with compassion too. For faith in action. Belief is powerful, but belief alone is not enough. Breakthrough belongs to those who act on their faith. This doesn't mean blinding yourself with false optimism and ignoring reality. It means moving even when you're scared. Trust is born from action. As you step, the path appears. Maybe you've been waiting for everything to make sense, for the pain to resolve, for the perfect sign, for absolute certainty. But life, my friend, rarely gifts us those assurances in advance. Action is a declaration. It says to the universe, I'm willing to meet possibility halfway. I will risk discomfort for the sake of something better. Each small act, making a phone call, speaking your truth, setting a boundary, proves to both yourself and the world that you are serious about change. Let's anchor these reflections. Take a slow, purposeful breath and reflect for a moment. In what area of your life do you feel most resistant to change right now? What does openness look like in that area? What is one small, respectful step you could take this week to embody courage or trust? If you're committed to practicing radical openness, open heart, open mind, for at least one area of life this week, type 777 in the comments. Let's fill this space with conscious intention and encouragement. Your action may be the encouragement another person needs to open to. Mindset reframe. Why preparation matters. Remember, preparation is not a chore or an act of desperation. It is an act of loving stewardship. You are tending the internal soil of your heart so that when grace arrives, when the breaking open comes, you are not only ready, but able to nurture the new growth for the long haul. There is wisdom in the ancient proverb, opportunity favors the prepared. The more you cultivate your soil, openness, patience, honesty, faith, the more likely you are to recognize and welcome opportunity when it arrives. In the next segment, we'll go deeper into the process of clearing old patterns, those weeds and stones that may be stifling your growth, often without you even realizing it. You are well on your way. Trust the process and honor your pace. Together, let's get ready for change. Certainly, here is a fully expanded and immersive script for Segment 3. Clearing old patterns, keeping the tone personal, rich with reflection, gentle guidance, and actionable steps, suited for a mature and spiritually invested audience. 3. Clearing old patterns. Subtle background music shifts, something gentle, evoking a sense of releasing and renewal. Let's continue our journey together by turning inward to one of the most powerful yet overlooked steps in preparing for your breakthrough. Clearing old patterns. Why is this so essential? Imagine for a moment that you own a beautiful garden. You've spent months dreaming about what you want to grow: vibrant flowers, delicious fruits, abundant vegetables, whatever your heart desires. But if you plant new seeds in soil cluttered with weeds, leftover roots, or rocks, the seeds have a hard time sprouting, don't they? Our internal landscape is much the same. Old patterns, be they thoughts, emotions, habitual reactions, even clutter in our physical space, compete for energy and attention, crowding out the new. If you long for a breakthrough, but feel blocked, this is where you begin. Let me pause for a moment and gently remind you, everyone has patterns that linger longer than we'd like. There's no shame in this. In fact, most of the habits, beliefs, and even emotional wounds you carry were learned for a reason, often as protection, often long before you realized you even had a choice. So let's walk through this process not with harshness or judgment, but with soft curiosity and care. This is not the time for blame, but for blessing. Step 1. Declutter your outer world. We begin with the tangible. Our physical environments reflect and impact our internal states more than we realize. When our homes, cars, offices, or even purses are crowded and chaotic, it sends a subtle signal to our subconscious that there's no room for change. Let's not underestimate the magic of clearing space. Here's a powerful practice. Pick one small area, a drawer, a shelf, a desktop. Remove every item. Ask yourself, does this still feel aligned with the person I am becoming? If yes, honor and keep it. If not, Thank it for its role in your journey and let it go to donation, recycling, or the trash. Try this each day for a week. Notice how it feels not just in your environment, but in your body. And for those who already have pristine spaces, look for subtle forms of clutter. Unfinished to-dos, stacked up emails, obligations you've outgrown. Clearing is not about empty minimalism, but about holding space for what matters most. Step 2. Clearing your inner world, the mind. Old thought patterns are like loops on a playlist. I'm not good enough. It's always been this way, so it always will be. I can't trust people to be there for me. I'm too old / time has passed / my best days are behind me. Familiar? You're not alone. These beliefs are rarely true, but they are persistent because they've been rehearsed for years. A practice for this: take a sheet of paper. Write down any negative or limiting beliefs you've heard echo inside lately. Hold each thought gently in your awareness and read it aloud. Ask, is this absolutely universally true? Or is it just a story my mind learned to keep me safe? Cross out or circle each one as you challenge it. Write beside it what you'd rather believe, even if it feels awkward or untrue at first. Let this become a weekly ritual. Eventually, the new beliefs will feel less foreign, more alive. Step 3. Emotional clearing. Letting feelings move. Sometimes what blocks a breakthrough isn't a thought, but an unprocessed emotion. It may be grief, anger, shame, disappointment, or a complex mix of all these. Most of us were taught to suppress feelings, to stay positive or be strong. Yet emotional energy, when trapped, simply circles endlessly beneath the surface, blocking new possibility. Here's a nurturing exercise. Set a private, safe space, your room, car, nature. Place a hand on your heart. Ask, what am I feeling that I've been hiding from myself? Whatever arises, tears, tension, anger, even numbness. Allow its space to be seen, to move. Try pairing this with movement, walking, stretching, even gentle shaking, or sound, humming, sighing, singing softly. The goal is not cathartic drama, just honest permission for energy to move. Afterward, thank the feeling for helping you survive, and watch how much lighter you feel, even if only a little. Step 4. Forgiveness practice. Releasing heavy anchors. Holding on to old resentments and grudges, whether toward others or yourself, is a surefire way to anchor your energy in the past. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harm or forgetting what happened. It means removing the hook from your own heart, freeing up your energy to pursue what's next. A gentle exercise. Take a few minutes with pen and paper. Write a simple letter to yourself or to someone you're ready to forgive, even if you don't plan to give it to them. Begin with, I forgive you for. Let yourself write without censorship. When finished, read it aloud privately. Allow every wave of emotion to move through. Then, if it feels right, rip it up or burn it safely. As a release ritual, you may need to revisit forgiveness repeatedly over time. That's not a failure, it's a deepening. Step 5. Old patterns as blessings. Honoring, not demonizing. Often, when we begin clearing, we're tempted to hate our old patterns. Self-sabotage, procrastination, defensiveness, playing small. But transformation thrives on self-acceptance, not self-rejection. Offer gratitude to these patterns. They once protected you, offered safety, or gave you a sense of belonging. Now, as you evolve, let their role change too. Let's anchor this segment with a daily intention for the coming week. Each morning, ask, what is one thing, big or small, that no longer serves me, that I can lovingly release today? It might be an object, a thought, a resentment, a commitment outgrown. Write it down if you like. Whisper a simple thank you for the lesson, and let it go. Notice day by day the way you feel lighter, clearer, more open, making genuine room for the new. If you're ready to take this small, daily action, let us know in the comments. Share what you're letting go of, or simply type release to strengthen your intention and inspire others. Clearing isn't glamorous, but it is essential. Every person you admire, every story of transformation you cherish, is built upon this quiet work, the gentle excavation that makes space for destiny to bloom. Next, we'll move from clearing the old to creating the new, by establishing sacred routines and rituals that anchor your intention and signal to the universe that you're ready to receive. Take a nourishing breath, release any judgment, and join me in the next segment. Absolutely. Here is the fully expanded script for segment 4, Sacred Routine, the Power of Ritual. This section combines relatable storytelling, practical how-tos, gentle encouragement, and natural speech patterns to maintain a warm, trustworthy, and highly engaging tone for your audience. For Sacred Routine, the Power of Ritual, music transitions to a hopeful, serene melody. Visuals, perhaps gentle sunrise light, a favorite mug, a flickering candle, simple rituals in daily life. We've talked about clearing old patterns and making space for the new. But how do you ensure that space isn't quickly reoccupied by old habits, old noise, or the demands of the outside world? The answer is simple yet profound: ritual. You see, life is made up of millions of small moments. Alone, each moment can feel inconsequential. But tied together by intention and repetition, these moments become the story of our transformation. When we create sacred routines, personal rituals that mark the beginning, the end, and even the in-between times of our day, we're not just doing another task. We're setting a rhythm for our life, telling ourselves and the universe, I know what I value. I make time for it. I am ready for what comes next. Let me tell you a truth from my own story. For years, I longed for change, but I approached each morning the same way, by checking my phone, scanning for emergencies, already falling into the day's chaos. And every night, I fell asleep to the noise of television and anxious thinking. It wasn't until I tried gently shifting these two bookends of my day that everything else finally began to feel different. Just a few minutes, that's all it took at first. Now, I want to walk beside you as you create, or simply tune, your own sacred routines. 1. Morning Ritual. Begin with intention. Your morning is a doorway between dream and waking life. Treat it as sacred. Instead of reaching for your phone, give yourself the first 2 to 5 minutes tech-free. Even if you have kids, pets, or other obligations, you can carve out the space. Perhaps even before getting out of bed. Greet the day. Maybe you stretch gently and say out loud, "Thank you for this day. I am open to what comes." Or place your feet on the floor and whisper, "Today, may I become more of myself." Try one simple practice. Light a candle or place your hand on your heart. Take 3 conscious breaths. Inhale hope, exhale doubt. If you keep a journal, jot what you remember from your dreams or a single intention for the day. I choose courage, I trust the process, or simply, I am ready. This isn't about perfection or making every single morning profound. It's about rhythm and focus, telling your mind and spirit that life itself is a sacred opportunity. 2. Intentional pauses, micro-rituals throughout the day. No matter how busy your life, you can find 60 seconds to create presence. Before a meeting, close your eyes. Take a breath. Remind yourself, I am not my stress. I am not my to-do list. I am here now, fully present. When stress peaks or emotions threaten to overwhelm, step away, just for 1 minute. Press your feet firmly to the ground and imagine roots, connecting you to steadiness. Or, if you're able, step outside for a moment of sun, wind, or fresh air. Whisper to yourself, reset. These small moments stack up, slowly teaching your nervous system that you are safe, you are supported, you are in the flow of change. 3. Evening Ritual. Let go and reflect. Your day's end holds as much magic as its beginning. Before sleeping, dim the lights. Maybe light incense, sip an herbal tea, or just sit in silence. Ask yourself 3 questions. Where did I show up as my future self today? Where did I let old patterns take over? What am I grateful for, even if the day didn't go as planned? Write your answers if you feel drawn, or simply let your mind drift through them as you rest. As a beautiful bonus, some people find a prayer, mantra, or affirmation for sleep incredibly powerful. You might try, "Tonight, I release the day." I invite rest, healing, and renewal. In the morning, I will rise with clarity and light. 4. Ritual as anchor, not perfection trap. Maybe you're thinking, that all sounds wonderful, but my life is chaotic. Kids wake up early, work calls, or I travel for business. Routine is a laughable luxury. That's okay. Ritual is about returning, not perfection. Even if you miss a morning, or your evening gets disrupted, the next moment is always a new invitation. If you fall off, just begin again without guilt, without blame. Trust that each time you pause, breathe consciously, and claim sacredness, you are reprogramming your life on a cellular level. 5. The science and spirit of ritual. It isn't just spiritual wisdom science. 2. Tells us that habits shape our brains. Rituals provide stability and a sense of control. They calm anxiety by reassuring the mind there is order and safety, even in a changing world. They help us anchor intention, strengthening new neural pathways that make long-term change possible. So, by establishing sacred routines, however humble, you are literally changing your mind, your body, even your fate. Invitation: share your rituals. What simple routines have helped you start or end your day with intention? Do you have a favorite morning affirmation or an evening practice that soothes your heart? Share it in the comments or type "sacred" if you're committing to creating a new ritual for yourself this week. Your practice might become the inspiration someone else needs to begin their own. Remember, it's not about the length, the beauty, or how spiritual your practice looks. What matters is the intention, reminding yourself and the universe that you are here, you are awake, and you are worthy of the breakthrough you seek. When you honor these small daily rituals, you signal readiness for real change, not one day but now. You become the fertile ground where transformation naturally grows. Next, we'll tune into an even deeper level, listening to inner wisdom, learning the subtle art of hearing, trusting, and following the signs that are always here to guide you. Take a breath, feel gratitude for the day, and turn your attention gently inward. Your breakthrough is already searching for you, even as you prepare for it. Absolutely. Here is segment 5, written for immersion, warmth, and a natural, encouraging tone. This section is designed to draw your viewers inward, helping them trust, notice, and honor their own inner wisdom. 5. Listening to inner wisdom. There's a special kind of silence, one that isn't empty, but alive with possibility. It's the silence beneath your thoughts, the gentle space before a decision, the flutter in your chest right before you say yes or no. That silence, that's where your inner wisdom lives. If preparing for a breakthrough is like tending the garden of your life, then your intuition, your inner voice, is the master gardener. It knows what you need long before your conscious mind catches up. It recognizes soil that's ready for a seed, and it quietly points out the places where rocks still need removing. Yet, for so many of us, tuning into our intuition is not easy. We are drenched in noise all day. Phone notifications, urgent emails, television, endless opinions. Life rarely encourages us to listen deeply to ourselves. But I'm here to remind you, you already possess everything you need to access deep wisdom. You don't have to search outside for all the answers or follow an endless parade of experts. The wisest, most trustworthy guidance you'll ever find already whispers inside you. Let's explore together how to hear it, how to let it guide you, day by day, toward your breakthrough. 1. Making space for stillness. First, give yourself permission to pause. You don't need a silent mountain retreat, just 5 minutes of quiet attention. Even if it means sitting in your parked car, finding a private spot at work, or lingering in bed before the day starts. Try this simple practice. Sit comfortably, take a deep breath, and, as you exhale, let your shoulders drop. Gently focus on your heart, not your head. Ask, quietly, what do I most need right now? Or what wants my attention? Notice what arises. Maybe it's a word, an image, a feeling, or just a subtle shift. Don't force it. Sometimes you'll get clarity. Other times, just a little peace. The regular act of listening, even without clear answers, builds trust. 2. Honoring dreams and subtle nudges. Your inner wisdom speaks in many languages. Sometimes it whispers in dreams, recurring images, powerful stories, or even odd, vivid scraps that stay with you throughout the day. At other times, you may feel a tug, an inexplicable urge to call someone, go somewhere, or pause before making a decision. Many great breakthroughs have their beginnings in these quiet nudges. If you want to strengthen this channel, keep a dream notebook by your bed. Jot down whatever you remember without editing or judging. Over time, look for patterns or symbols. Your subconscious is always communicating. Notice recurring numbers like 111, 222, or 777, phrases or encounters. These synchronicities are winks from the universe, confirming that you are seen, guided, and connected. When you get a nudge, however small, act on it, if only as an experiment. Call the person, change up your routine, trust the prompting, and see what unfolds. 3. Differentiating wisdom from worry. It's important to ask, how do I know if it's wisdom speaking or just anxiety in disguise? This question comes up often, and I want to offer reassurance. Inner wisdom is quiet, calm, and compassionate. Anxiety is loud, urgent, and repetitive. Wisdom often brings curiosity or peace, even if it challenges your comfort zone. Anxiety breeds tightness and overwhelm. If a thought makes you feel small, frantic, or panicked, pause and breathe. Say, "Thank you, mind, for trying to keep me safe. For now, I choose to listen to the deeper voice that believes in my strength." Over time, and with practice, distinguishing between worry and wisdom becomes easier. Your body is an excellent guide. Wisdom resonates like a gentle yes in your heart, your gut, your whole being. 4. The value of guidance, not going it alone. Sometimes we need help tuning our intuition, especially in times of stress or fatigue. This is where the wisdom of safe, trustworthy guides, friends, mentors, or professionals can help us sort through the noise and come home to ourselves. Remember, it's not weak to seek support. The most intuitive people I know regularly check their insights with those they trust. But real guidance never replaces your own voice. It resonates with it, helping you recognize your truth. 5. Trusting the unfolding even when answers delay. Many people give up on intuition because they expect instant answers or dramatic downloads. But real wisdom is often subtle. Maybe you don't know what to do about a job, a relationship, or a move. You listen, you pray or meditate, but silence or uncertainty remains. This too is guidance. Sometimes wait is the most powerful answer. An invitation to trust, to watch, to gather strength for what's to come. Let yourself be at peace with not knowing. Intuition teaches patience. In the waiting, you grow. 6. Practice. The 3-minute inner listening ritual. Would you be willing to make a daily date with your own wisdom? Try this even if just for the next week. Set a 3-minute timer. Choose a consistent time if possible. Find stillness, feet on the floor, hand over heart or stomach. Close your eyes. Breathe easily. Ask a simple question, such as, what part of me needs tending today? Or what would bring me peace right now? When the timer ends, write a word, an image, or a feeling that arose, even if it felt insignificant. Over the course of the week, look for patterns or gradual clarity. This ritual is not about dramatic revelations. It's about building a reliable, trusting relationship with yourself. Your inner wisdom is not a distant sage, but your most loyal companion. Each day you choose to pause, listen, and act with care, you grow into the person, the soul you are here to become. The more you honor that voice, the more clearly the universe responds, aligning outer opportunities with your inner knowing. If you feel inspired to strengthen your inner listening, if you've had moments of inner clarity lately, please share them in the comments. Type inner guide if you're committed to building this practice for the week ahead. You never know, your willingness to listen might inspire someone else to try too. Next, we'll explore how to embody the shift. Action steps for real change. Taking what you feel and know inside and letting it move you one small real-world action at a time. Pause. Listen in gratitude. You are more guided and more powerful than you know. Certainly. Here's segment 6, embodying the shift, action steps, written to flow naturally and deeply connect with your mature spiritual audience, offering warmth, practical application, and relatable storytelling. 6. Embodying the shift, action steps. We've moved from clearing old patterns to inviting inner wisdom. And now, it's time to carry that inner preparation into your outer life. Because true transformation doesn't just happen inside us. It becomes real when we live it, step by step, in the choices we make and the actions we take. There's a temptation, especially for those of us on a spiritual journey, to wait for the big sign or the perfect conditions. Sometimes we fall into thinking we need to feel a certain way or have everything figured out before we can move forward. But the real magic of breakthrough happens when you dare to act, imperfectly, sometimes awkwardly, with whatever faith and wisdom you have right now. Let's talk about bringing your inner shift into the outer world and how even the smallest steps can invite real change. 1. Small, consistent moves. The most lasting breakthroughs begin with the tiniest steps. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight to experience real progress. If you've ever watched a river carve a canyon, gentle, consistent movement shapes even the hardest stone. Choose one area of life. Maybe it's your relationships, self-care, finances, healing work, or creative pursuits. Each morning, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today, however small, that honors my intention for breakthrough? Maybe it's sending an email you've been putting off. Maybe it's walking for 10 minutes after dinner instead of watching TV. Maybe it's having a brave, honest conversation or making time for silence. Set the bar low enough that it feels doable. Remember, consistency matters more than intensity. Every small step tells your subconscious, I'm serious about change. I trust myself enough to try. 2. Celebrating micro wins. It's easy to overlook or downplay the significance of small changes, especially if you're used to measuring progress by big, flashy results. But did you know the brain is wired to pay attention to what we celebrate? Acknowledging your micro wins literally builds neural pathways that reinforce positive change and make further action easier. At the end of each day, maybe during your evening ritual, reflect, where did I move the needle, even a little, toward my breakthrough today? Celebrate authentically. That celebration could be as simple as a smile, a fist pump, or writing win next to your journal entry. If you want, share your micro win in the comments. Your courage could be the nudge someone else needs. Remember, a shift in how you speak to yourself, how you respond in a hard moment, or even making a healthy choice when you didn't have to, these are the building blocks of reinvention. 3. Visualize the breakthrough. Anchor it in your being. Visualization is not just wishful thinking. It's a way of rehearsing your desired future, aligning your mind, body, and energy with the outcome you seek. High-performing athletes, leaders, and healers all use this powerful tool. Once a day, pause for 3 minutes. Close your eyes. Imagine having already experienced your breakthrough. What do you feel in your body? Relief, joy, gratitude, excitement? What has changed in your posture, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself? How do you interact with the world, with others, and with yourself? Let the feeling fill your chest, your face, your muscles. Let yourself belong in this reality, even if only for a moment. Over time, your nervous system will begin to recognize and normalize this new state, gently nudging your choices and reactions in its direction. 4. Making the unfamiliar familiar. As you begin to act, you might notice resistance. The mind often whispers, who do you think you are to try this? What if you fail again? Isn't it safer just to stay the same? This is a good sign. It means you're doing something different. Growth always feels unfamiliar at first, just like learning to walk, ride a bike, or speak a new language. Here's what helps. Acknowledge your fear. Speak to it with kindness. Thank you for wanting to protect me, but I am safe, and I am ready to try. Keep going. The more you repeat even tiny brave actions, the more your nervous system and subconscious accept them as the new normal. 5. Simple action ideas. Choose what resonates. Here are a few simple ways you might embody the shift today. Reach out to someone you admire and ask a question or express gratitude. Sign up for a local class or group aligned with your new direction. Decline an invitation that feels draining, making space for your own priorities. Post a handwritten note or affirmation where you'll see it. I am ready for real change. Spend time in a place that feels inspiring, even if just for a few quiet breaths. What matters is not what you choose, but that you choose something. The universe responds to your willingness more than it does to your perfection. 6. Journaling, a map of progress. Nothing motivates quite like seeing your own journey on paper. Start a breakthrough log. Each day or week, write down what you did, even if it seems small, and how it felt. Review your log once a month. You'll be surprised at how much ground you cover when you're not obsessing over instant results. This log is your proof, a tangible reminder on the days when change feels slow or invisible. 7. Accountability and sharing your intentions. Here's an undeniable truth. Change is easier when you're not alone. Tell one trusted person, friend, community member, mentor about your intention for breakthrough. Invite them to check in with you, cheer for you, or simply hold space for your progress and struggles. If you feel brave, share your current action step or vision in the comments below. My breakthrough intention this month is your intention. One small step I'm taking tomorrow is your action. Your willingness to share doesn't just help you. It makes this a community of transformation. Breakthrough isn't a destination, it's a way of being. By embodying the shift, you become both the gardener and the garden, both the seeker and the answer. Every time you act, no matter how awkward or small, you're staking your claim to the new story of your life. You are saying, not just with words, but with deeds, I am worthy of this. I am open to guidance. I trust the process, and I will meet my future with courage. Pause and acknowledge yourself. You're further along than you think. As we journey onward, we'll talk about the role of support and community, discovering why no soul climbs alone, and how connection multiplies your capacity for real change. Breathe in, letting pride and gratitude settle in your chest. You're already changing step by step. Of course. Here is segment 7. Support and community, written for depth, authenticity, warmth, and real-world resonance with your audience. 7. Support and community. We've talked a lot about what happens within the clearing, the listening, the daily actions, but now I want you to know a deeper truth. No one achieves lasting transformation alone. Even the most independent souls, the most passionate seekers, are, at their core, wired for connection. Your breakthrough doesn't happen in a vacuum. It is magnified, supported, and often even catalyzed by the people around you. 1. A new narrative from lone wolf to circle. Many of us, especially those who've walked tough roads, have learned to go it alone. Maybe you've felt disappointed by others in the past, learned to be self-reliant, or simply feared that your sensitivity would never be understood. I see you. Your independence is a hard-won shield, and it's served you. But growth, real lasting growth, asks for something more. Surrendering to support, risk vulnerability, and allow true community to hold you. The old story might be, no one understands me. I'm on my own. Real change is all up to me. Let's invite a new, gentler narrative today. Spiritual awakening is a path, not a pedestal. It's most powerful when walked shoulder to shoulder, hearts wide open. 2. Why community matters for breakthroughs. Science and spirit both tell us. Connection accelerates transformation. When you share an intention, aloud, in writing, or even silently, with another, you multiply the energy behind it. Communities offer wisdom, encouragement, loving reminders to keep going, and even a little friendly accountability. Most importantly, they help us remember we're not weird or alone, because there are countless others growing through the same fears, hopes, and doubts. Pause for a moment and bring to mind someone, anyone, who's believed in you or supported your path, no matter how small their gesture. Feel into that. Let gratitude fill your heart, if only for an instant. 3. Finding your circle, mentors, allies, teachers. Support comes in many shapes. Sometimes it's a teacher or elder whose perspective opens your eyes. Sometimes it's a peer, a friend who's on the path, maybe just one step ahead or behind. Sometimes it's a group, spiritual circle, or online community like this very channel. Mentorship. Is there someone you admire for their resilience, compassion, or strength? Reach out, watch their talks, read their books, or, if possible, send them a message of appreciation or inquiry. Don't be afraid to ask for wisdom. Those who have walked before you often feel honored to share. Accountability partner. Choose a buddy who wants to make changes as much as you do. Set weekly check-ins, calls, texts, or even emails, sharing goals, struggles, and wins. Their progress will inspire you and vice versa. Community. Join a group, it could be local or virtual, where you feel encouraged to grow, question, and be your authentic self. This could be a spiritual center, an online mastermind, a book club, or even the comments section here. If you found value or comfort in this channel, let me know in the comments below. Type community if you're ready to anchor your breakthrough journey with us, or share a gratitude for a mentor or friend who's inspired you. 4. The power of vulnerability. Letting yourself be seen. Connecting deeply means sometimes letting others witness you, not just at your best or most spiritual, but in your doubt, your stuckness, your in-progress mess. When you admit a fear, share a setback, or simply say, "I don't know," you give others permission to do the same. This authenticity builds trust. Suddenly, support becomes a two-way street, and the journey forward feels lighter, less burdensome. When you offer encouragement to another, through a kind word, a listening ear, or simply, "I hear you, and you're not alone," you become a vessel for someone else's breakthrough, too. 5. Receiving versus giving, balancing the flow. It's natural for those on the spiritual path to love helping others. Can feel easier to give than to receive. Yet, both are necessary for your expansion. When you allow others to support, celebrate, or lift you up, you reinforce the belief that you are worthy, not because of what you give, but simply because you exist. This opens the gateway for new blessings, opportunities, and relationships to find you. Challenge yourself. This week, let someone offer help. Accept praise without deflecting. Ask for a listening ear. Say yes to the invitation that feeds your soul. 6. The ripple effect. Your courage multiplies. Never underestimate the impact of your own willingness to connect. Every time you share your truth, acknowledge your vulnerability, or cheer for someone else, it sends ripples of permission and hope through the circle. You might never know who is inspired to make a bold move after reading your comment, hearing your story, or witnessing your breakthrough unfold. You are not just receiving support, you are medicine for others too. So, reflect. Who could benefit from my encouragement, honesty, or presence right now? Where am I holding back from reaching out, asking for help, or stepping into a new community? Lean in. Allow the flow of giving and receiving to nourish you. Transformation is rarely a solo act. It's a chorus. Remember, no matter how late you feel you've started, how many steps ahead or behind you imagine yourself to be, you belong. Your journey matters, your presence matters, and your breakthrough will be that much richer because you allowed yourself to share it with others. As we prepare for the next segment, reflect on this. Where could you invite support or offer it this week? Let's continue forming a web of strength and kindness in this community. You never walk this path alone. This is just the beginning. Subscribe and activate notifications if you haven't. This channel is a sacred place for unfolding, and I would love to walk further with you. Share this journey with someone who's searching for their own breakthrough. They may only need an invitation. Come back anytime you need support or clarity. Our community in the comments is here for you. You are ready. You are worthy. You are called. The only question left is, will you answer the call and step into the new? With deep honor and joy, thank you for sharing this space, this sacred moment, your journey to divine breakthrough. Before you go, if this journey spoke to your heart, please let me know by hitting the like button. It truly helps us grow and reach more souls who need this message. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the Whispering Wisdom channel and turn on notifications. This isn't just a channel. It's a growing community of beautiful, conscious souls supporting each other on the path to real change. Every week, you'll receive guidance, practical steps, and reminders that you're never alone on your journey. If you feel called, share this video with a friend or loved one who might be standing at their own threshold of breakthrough. Let's keep the ripples of transformation going. Thank you for being here, for being you, and for adding your light to whispering wisdom. Until next time, keep listening to that quiet voice within, and remember, the world needs your wisdom.